Hey besties, I'm once again back with poor camera quality and dog sitting. So I apologize about that, but we're just gonna have to move on from that if we continue on with the rest of the video. So anyway, you saw the title, you know why we're here. To clarify, we have some housekeeping before we continue because whenever now you talk about anything drama related, people be coming in the comments and they're allowed, entitled to their opinion, but we're doing some housekeeping because disclaimers. I'm not going to mention every single controversy JoJo Siwa was in. I just want to say the ones that I felt were red flags and the ones that I saw. I may miss some that are major red flags. I tried my best to do research, but I'm only one person going off my memory and my Google search results. So there you go. Also, want to mention, I am born the same month and same year as JoJo Siwa. I'm a few days older than her. Okay. We are practically the same age, so I don't want to hear anyone in the comments being like, she's too young for the consequences of her actions, at least the ones when she's an adult. Yes, I'm young, but that does not take away from the power of her words and her actions, because she has so much money, power, and influence, guys. Let's use our three brain cells. We have to call out the people with power and and influences because that is how she grows and learns this isn't cool, and all how else the public consciousness grows. You do something, people are going to be like, that's not cool. Okay. This is a mix of facts and my opinions. I'm going to be talking about the controversies and then I'm sharing my opinions about it. Obviously, don't send hate to anyone we mention. If you're curious about anything that I'm talking about, will, unless somehow forget, put all the links and stuff in the description below of all the things I mentioned. So you're welcome to scroll through that and take a gander. Okay. Last but not least, content warning. Racism, grooming, and predatory behavior behind children. You know it's a doozy when there's a content warning. Are we ready? Are we ready, besties? Okay. I'll also probably try to be making a bracelet to this because that makes talking about things easier for me. But you saw my last video. That doesn't mean I'm gonna finish it by the time this is done. So let's see. Anyway, let's begin. So we're gonna start in December of 2018. Okay. And we're gonna talk about her cars. La, 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 la. I know, I hear you now. I hear you now, bestie. And I don't know what you want me to say. We're talking about the red flags of JoJo Siwa, okay? Having multiple cars with your face on it is a red flag. What do you want me to say? Okay? Remember, she's incredibly rich and famous. Sorry, my little script's right here, so I keep looking over there. And she has more wealth than probably any of us will ever have in our lifetime. So I'm allowed to speak about her and her cars, okay? Car one. Wow. Yep. So her parents got her this car when she was 15. So technically she didn't buy this car. It's crazy. This vehicle has a 2022 value of $70,000, but after being modified by West Coast Customs, its true value may be as high as $100,000 away. That's one of the articles in the link below. She got it for Christmas, so this is not on her. It's just crazy. Car two. I believe she bought this one. And then so she bought it like a normal car, right? And then she purposely plastered her face all over it. The quote I have is, JoJo wasn't too happy until she made the car more on brand, JoJo Siwa brand, that is. So she got Kyler and Madison Fisher to customize it with the images of what else? Her face. Once again, probably from Way. And this is also one of the most expensive Tesla models. That's money, money, girlies. Money, 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 girlies. Yeah, her parents got her a car when she was 15 and couldn't even legally drive yet. Ugh. And then apparently she might also have a third car, according to Sports Kita, but I didn't see that in any other sources, so just take that as a grain of salt. If this is to start anywhere, she has so much money and influence, guys. So much money and influence, okay? She has two cars with her face on it. What does that do to the human psyche? And she got one of those cars when she was 15. You ready? June 6th, 2019. So she released this makeup line with Claire's, right? But it was recalled because of asbestos. If you don't know what asbestos is, I didn't either. Remember to picture me. Basically, it is really bad and cancerous for your lungs and internal organs. It's an that's not good, a dangerous chemical. So the FDA on June 6th, the FDA was like, hey, we probably shouldn't be selling that. Stop using it. It's actually quite dangerous. Uh-oh. And so Claire's was quickly recalled it and issued a refund to everyone. I'll probably put their official statements. Not super interesting. Not interesting, but not pertinent to the conversation. And then on June 15th, over a week later, after the Food and Drug Administration, she basically, here's her statement. She was just like, everyone's safety is and me is me Nickelodeon's priority. Um, we're gonna take it off the shelves and everyone's gonna get a refund, whether it's used or unused. And I think the part that's also quite interesting is she's like, I just wanted to let you guys know. Thank you for understanding because it's serious to me and it means a lot to me. It's my name, my brand, it's my face, quite literally. So she's 16 at the time. She obviously was not in the chemical lab mixing in asbestos to these like kids' makeup products, right? But it's kind of shows that building off what we talked about last time, not only does she have so much money, power, and influences, you're like, you go with your mom to Claire's and like, oh, it's JoJo Siwa. I want makeup. I want it, right? Just her face, especially on the younger generation. But ever since she was literally a child, she's had so much push over children, which means even more than like a regular human being, like they need to be held accountable. Watching too much Yellow Jackets, I'm sorry. Held accountable for when her and her brand mess up because these are literally children who just see JoJo Siwa's face and is like, I want 20, right? It's just very dangerous. And honestly, I think not Claire's, I'm not going to compliment a company, but I think JoJo's PR team, I should say, handled it very well because I think from the last little bit of the statement that I read, she took it very personally because she's like, oh my gosh, this is my face. This is like the first major controversy I could tell. Um, that's my face, and now my face is tarnished because I'm giving little kids cancer with my my makeup palette. We're gonna continue on to her statements later, but I think at this point in the video, probably her best statement, and it's her first one. So the PR team ate with that. Like, you gave a refund to everyone, that's all she can really do. Okay, enough for that. Final thoughts. She doesn't have any control over that. They took it off and refunded everyone. That's good, at least. Whatever. Not good, but capitalism kills. So, for this next controversy, I'm going to once again get a content warning for racism. So, in 2019, 2020, she dropped this music video for her song Nonstop. A 12-year-old dancer in a music video was wearing blackface. Little white girl's face dark and made her wear like a monkey costume. It was racist. It's blackface, right? JoJo says she's shocked that people's minds even went there. The music video is all like circusy stuff, and there's a bunch of kids dressed up as like tigers and zebras and whatever. Everyone saw this and was like, yep, that's a great idea. So there was obviously no person of color there that felt comfortable speaking up, being like, hey, maybe we shouldn't paint the little white girl's face dark and make her wear a monkey outfit. I mean, thank God it's not a little black girl in like a monkey outfit, but still, like it's just insensitive. You didn't need to put a monkey there. Or you could have just had them wear monkey ears and go, continuing her statement. So she posts a statement on Instagram and she was like, guys, there was no malicious intent. This is what she says. We'll talk about it behind the makeup. We're talking about kids dressing up as circus animals. No one in my video is wearing blackface. We'll talk about it. I will say it again. for the ones in the back. Black Lives Matter today, tomorrow, yesterday, and forever. Ally over here, JoJo Siwa. Next quote really gets you. I'm on the right side of history here. Don't don't say that. Don't say you're on the right side of history because you care about black people's feelings. What are you? And she doesn't. We're not even finished with their statement. I'm sorry. Stop trying to make this something it isn't. I know we just started the video and I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. And then said a social media user, so I'm assuming just like an Instagram commenter, was like, that wasn't an apology. She responded, I didn't do anything that needs an apology. This is me just clearing things up, she tweeted. So maybe someone tweeted at her. Doesn't matter. That was racist. That was not cool. The music video is still up for you to watch. And I didn't check every single screen, but I'm assuming the little girl's up in there by her response. No matter what your intent is, you did a blackface, right? You on your music video, you had a little girl with blackface, right? She didn't even apologize. Guys, like what? This starts a long journey of her just not apologizing. And it's very I didn't know about this. I swear to God, before I was like blackface controversy. What? Um, oh, and as a white woman, I obviously don't have the authority on blackface. So we're gonna read from an article, a Vox article written by Janae Desmond Harasi. I'm so sorry. And she's quoting David Leonard, the chair of Washington State's University Department of Critical Culture, Gender, Race Studies. In his 2012 Huffington Post essay, Just Say No to Blackface, Neo-Minstrelly and the Power to Dehumanize. So I'm just going to read the quote here because this is a black woman's words. Um, we need to listen to black people on black people's issues. Okay? So everyone has to listen to our ears. I'll do my best to give it justice. But here's the thing. Not feeling racist when you're wearing blackface does nothing to change how it affects those who see it. Your innermost thoughts don't change the impact blackface has on the people of all races around you, or the way it reinforces stereotypes and the idea that blackness is at best a joke. In many ways, one intent is irrelevant. The harm, whether it's harm in terms of eliciting anger or sadness, is a triggering various emotions or causing black people to feel both hyper visible and invisible at the same time. Is there when someone says, I didn't mean it that way? Well, their real question should not be, did I mean it? But am I causing harm? I'm sorry to start the video off so serious. There's no excuse for that. And especially, I didn't see an apology. She still hasn't apologized for it. Um, I'm so sorry for the people she hurt. And that is disgusting. And what year was this? 2020. The Lord's great year, right? That's just disgusting. So re-go through her statement, your intent does not matter, you harmed people. Yes, Black lives do matter, but it's crazy that you would put that in your statement at the same time you're not even apologizing for harming black people. When you say you're on the right side of history, you look like an asshole. I Why is your focus on being on the right side and not helping people who are marginalized? Stop trying to make this about something, isn't it? Well, it is. You did it. Whether you want to take accountability or not, you did that. So, there's a lot of things left to say, and I encourage you to seek out and hear Black people's voice on this. I will put some videos and such to continue this conversation in the description. There's no positive to this, and I am going to continue on with the video, but there is no excuse for this. I'm so sorry. Next, we're talking about when she defends Abby Lou Miller and discredits other experiences. It's the first time that I could find that it started was in May in 2020. She seems to have spoken about it multiple times, but I'm just gonna put what I could find here. So if you don't know who Abby Lee Miller is, JoJo basically started off her career on this reality show called Dance Moms. And Abby Lee Miller was kind of like the ringleader, like the main dance instructor, and she was just horrible. She was just horrible to these children. And the moms too, technically, but like obviously the children are the main focus. To quote here, she has faced accusations of bullying and racism from her to these children. She's also served jail time following a bankruptcy fraud conviction. Stellar human being. She said like again, she said a lot about her. I'll try to break it down, but once again, if you want to read everything, go in the links below, right? So she's always stood up for her, right? She's like, that's my girl. She says it really upsets her how she's one of the few people that are truly thankful to Abby Lee Miller. Okay. Because without her, dance moms wouldn't be a thing. That same year, I'm just gonna read the quote because I don't know these people. I'm sorry. Siwa squared off with Christy Luca Azak after the former dance mom accused Gianna Martello, one of the show's choreographers, of bullying her daughter, Chloe. And her response to that of being like, hey, you were shitty to my daughter. Her response was, that's the absolutely most ignorant thing that I've ever heard anyone say. And then she was just like, I had a great time with her. So that's not all. Wait, we'll save the thoughts to the end. We'll continue with them. She said she talks to Abby the most out of everyone in the show. She's great. Abby got hurt by a lot of people, and it's really sad that most of them don't talk to her anymore. I swear to God, I'm not joking. These are actual quotes. It's just sad because Abby's a really good person. Even though you see her yelling and screaming at children on TV, like Abby made 7 stars. And I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for her. And then she goes on to say that, like, Dance Moms wouldn't have been the same without Abby Lee Miller. Unfortunately, it wouldn't have made such great television if she wasn't just being awful and racist and disgusting towards the children and their mothers. She's basically just like, you need to sympathize with her. She's a human being. She is also a victim of Abby Lee Miller. I did not watch Dance Moms. It never interested me, thank God. From what I know, she was horrible to everyone, right? And I hope she comes to fact that her entire life, Nickelodeon, Claire's, Abby Lee Miller, they were taking advantage of a child and using a child for their branding. That's not okay. I can't stop her from feeling what she feels. If she felt that her and Abby's relationship is good, that's awesome. I hope she's in healing. But just because she is a victim of her does not mean that she gets to discredit other people's pain. Like the one girl we talked about. This is why we really have to do our best to call out public figures, even if they are victims of it, because I would argue, I mean, I'm not a Dance Moms girly, I made that clear. She has the most power and influence of everyone on Dance Moms. So what if someone listened to JoJo and was like, oh, maybe she wasn't that bad? No. No, 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 no. And I remember her rightfully being called out for this. I remember it going off on TikTok or whatever, right? And like we learned recently with Mila Kunis and the other idiot from that 70s show, just because you have a positive relationship with someone does not take away the fact that they are an abuser. We'll touch on this again later, but it seems like she's like, hey, I got money from it. Am I right, guys? Am I right, guys? So, from what she's displaying publicly, she was like, well, I made lots of money and now I'm rich and famous, so it's true. Get therapy, please. I ask you kindly. And I don't wish any harm on anyone, obviously. So I hope you go to therapy and find mental wellness. January 2021, Inappropriate Kids Game. This is another situation that I did not hear about. So basically, in 2021, she released this game called JoJo's Juice with Nickelodeon, right? Nickelodeon has a great tracker with kid stars, as we all know. Dan Schneider. Where the heck? Trying to keep cursing to minimum, but it's very hard when this is such frustrating subject matter. Anyway, it was kind of like a truth or dare kind of thing, right? Some of these things that these cards said, I was gagged. Let's go through, right? Let's continue. Remember, let's think about JoJo Siwa's audience, little children. Okay, just put the nearest little girl you know in your head. Would you want them to be asked these questions? Have you ever walked in on someone naked or had someone walk in on you? Have you ever gone outside without underwear? A bathing suit doesn't count. Have you ever taken money from someone's purse or wallet without asking? Rub noses with the person to your left. I'm gonna let that sink in. Nickelodeon, JoJo, why are you asking kids if they were naked? Why are they wanting kids to do that to each other? It's something I do to my girlfriend. Okay. So, as they should, controversy came out because a bunch of moms on TikTok were like, what the hell, right? As they should. Good on those moms, right? Paying attention to what their child is doing. And JoJo responded on Instagram saying she was not okay with the product. When companies make these games, I'm reading a quote, they don't run everything by me. So I had no idea the type of questions that are on these playing cards. And she was like, I wouldn't have been okay with it if I was aware of the contents. Nickelodeon and Spin Master, which they like tag team for the product. I'm assuming it's just like a game company, right? Also made a statement. We respect and value the relationship JoJo Siwa has with their fans and take concerns raised regarding the game's JoJo juices very seriously. Uh, they also praised JoJo for her work ethic. Awesome. That's really important. Right? Just I do not believe her. I'm assuming that she probably didn't look at it. She probably just didn't care, right? She was like, "Oh, Nickelodeon's doing it, so I'm sure it's fine." Get a better PR team, JoJo. Remember the first controversy, and I thought I praised you for doing a great job responding to that. This response is an ass, but it's not great, right? They didn't refund anyone or I mean, I think they stopped production, right, on the game. So I forgot to mention that. But it's just crazy, right? The difference between the two controversies and they're only a few years apart. But yeah, she's just rich and famous and she doesn't have to care, right? She can just post on Instagram being like, "Sorry, besties." That's every single consequence she's had. She just had to been like post a tweet being like, "Hey, that wasn't cool. Sorry," right? But yeah, it's just crazy and disgusting. Like, ugh. I looked it up. You could still they're not from the websites or anything, but they're secondhand sellers of the JoJo's juice. So if you want your own copies of JoJo's juice, feel free, right? Okay, December 2021. Rumored girlfriend is a Trump supporter? Question mark? Not a question mark. I know there's like the lesbian TikTok drama right now. I'm trying not to mention relationship drama because I'd rather focus on like controversies like the ones I've been mentioning. Someone else can come out and make the video about her relationship drama, right? But this one I feel is important and especially gives context to the rest of the story. Okay. So apparently, from what we can know, they only were rumored dating to be dating around like a month, right? They were just seen a few times at a Laker game. So this girl's name is Katie Mills, okay? So we're just gonna look through some of these screenshots on the screen. Liked and retweeted a bunch of like pro Donald Trump tweets. Oh yeah, she liked a transphobic tweet as well. Okay. She dressed up as Kendrick Lamar and she did cornrows, just culturally appropriative, disgusting, right? And then when someone called her out for the cornrows, she said, "It's a costume." Right, just you. Okay. And so her statement, she has a Twitter thread about her statement. And so we'll go through this bullshit together, right? This will be the only time I address the issue. There's stuff that Trump did that I do support, and there's stuff that I did not support. It's the same way for Biden. There's stuff that he does that I whatever. Wow. Brave, right? Um, I'll put the tweets up here, but we don't have time to go through and unpack all of this, right? Basically, she pulled some of my other friends, some of my best friends are black. If you've listened to any black person ever, you know that's the most bullshit response. Like, it doesn't take 3 fucking brain cells to know what you. Do I need to unpack how dumb that is? Can we just. Can we just shake hands here? Just acknowledge that's stupid, right? And insensitive. And she was just like, I was young and dumb and didn't realize how insensitive it was. And then she was like, yeah, I was Mormon and was in conversion therapy. I'm so sorry for that. I only have apologies. I'm sorry. But like you mentioned in part 7, it's not an excuse. So I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just grabbing random beads. It looks like ass. So sorry, guys. Just gross, right? And so this is who she's rumored to date, right? And then after that, JoJo made a TikTok basically being like, "I'm single," right? It was a whole bunch of things, but she made it very clear she was single, right? I'm not dating anyone, guys. I don't know. Obviously, I'm not there. I don't know JoJo personally. Just messy, right? Katie just seems like a shit human being. If I don't know. I don't know her. red flag, right? Red flag. I'm talking about red flags. I don't have the emotional energy to unpack why supporting Trump is so dangerous, especially for a queer woman, but queer white woman, right? So she has the privilege to just be like, whatever, right? I don't like Biden either. Obviously, they're both shit bags, but can we just agree that Trump sucks? I don't. We can make another video if people are being annoying about that in the comments. But this one, it's supposed to be about JoJo Siwa, right? Yay. You are who you surround yourself with. I don't know who this Katie Mills girl is. If she's so boldly in a tweet being like, well, I only support some of what Trump does. Usually Trump supporters are loud about what they believe, right? So she's a Trump supporter, right? If you don't think Trump is a horrible, disgusting person, that's a red flag. Gives me the ick. So it gives me the ick that JoJo's hanging out with her, groomingly, at least dating her. Because not even in the sense of like, we're girlfriends, but like talking to her, right? They're in the talking stage, right? Whatever. That's messy, but you see the pattern. D- we'll talk about it, but you see the pattern, right? This one's messy, girls. This one's messy. Okay. Content warning, internalized homophobia, lesbophobia. Okay. July 29th, 2020. I'm a lesbian, so I can talk about this, okay? Can you tell by my TXT shirt? Okay. So when she came out, I remember this is gonna be some of my own experience because it's if you don't know the controversy, we'll get to it. Context. I was so happy. I didn't know any of this, okay? I was like, wow, a positive, I didn't know. Oh my gosh, a positive role model in the that's queer. That's gay. That's a lesbian or attracted to women, sapphic, right? And especially in kids entertainment. This is so cool and exciting. I remember just being so excited about it. So the controversy. And I feel like this is something that the girls who get it and the girls who don't. Okay, together. Let me speak. Okay. So the TikToker commented saying basically that she called being a lesbian a dirty word. She's like, my sexuality is not a dirty word. So she responds back. She makes this whole TikTok. Okay. She's like, I just want to make something clear. I never said lesbian was a dirty word. I would never say that. It's not a dirty word because it's not. It's not a bad word. It's not a slur, especially not a word I'm ashamed of saying or ashamed of identifying by any means. She continues. She's basically just saying that it's not lesbian I have to deal with. It's just how the word sounds. Oh, she here says this later, and we'll continue on. Now, if you look at the comment, I'm sorry that people are trying to cancel you for not liking the sound of a word, and that's exactly it. I don't hate the word lesbian. I just, whenever someone talks to me about my sexuality, I just say that I'm gay. It's not the word that flows off. It's the word that flows off the tongue for me, if that makes sense. She does not identify as a lesbian, although she's only attracted to women. She tells Yahoo Life, she says, I just don't like the word itself. It's just like a lot, but I mean, at the end of the day, that's what I am. So then she compared lesbian to the term moist, saying it's just like, ugh. And then she's just like, you can be lesbian and be femme. Say it again for the girls in the back. I agree. Lesbians could be femme. She says a lot of lesbians tend to be masc. Okay. This is messy, girls. Okay. Girls in gender neutral term to whoever's listening. She's off. She can feel however she wants to feel, right? I'm not going to police what she identifies as. I don't care, right? The issue I have, she has like mental gymnastics about it, but she's saying that the word lesbian sounds dirty and gross. It's giving internalized lesbophobia, right? Once again, I recommend seeing therapy, right? She's spewing harmful rhetoric about the word lesbian. Young queer women, I struggled to identify with the term lesbian for a long time, right? They're gonna see this and be like, oh, maybe that word is dirty. Maybe I shouldn't identify with that. If that's how she feels, just say, hey, it's not for me, right? It's not. When she has such a young fan base, and I'm assuming, especially after coming out, a young queer fan base, saying the word lesbian is gross is just really harmful. Once again, does not matter what her intent is. She compared it to more moist. That like every single middle schooler was like, ew, me too. Do I need to explain myself? Like, I'm not saying lesbian is dirty. I'm saying the word lesbian is dirty, right? When she says it, she goes, ugh. That's what she said with the moist comment, right? It's a red banner, not just a red flag. This is messy, right? And I feel like I can make a whole other video talking about that, but we have more to go through, guys. Don't worry. Young sapphics, don't date someone who says this, in my opinion. Date whoever you want, but in my opinion, dodge that. Dodge Matrix, okay? Let's continue. Okay. We're gonna go to June 11th, 2023. She pops up on Shane Jossin's channel. If you forgot what Jane Jossin did, I'm just gonna, I don't know why. I'm not gonna correct myself. Screw that guy. I recommend you watching D'Angelo Wallace's video on it. It's re-uploaded. He took it off down the original video, I think. Just to remind yourself about what an awful, disgusting, racist creep he is. Also just someone who has just harmed children by his racist actions, by his just creepy. Watch the video. If you can watch the video and still look at Shane Jostin in the face, I don't trust you. Red flag. Talking about red flags, guys. And especially people are gonna be like, but he apologized. He apologized. Wow, so brave of him. He apologized. Sorry, Jocelyn. Right? And after his apology, right, he continues to joke about his cancellation. If I am joking about apologizing, I'm not taking that seriously. Don't lie to me. He's not taking that seriously. He doesn't care. He's still an asshole. Shane Dawson's a creep. And she just popped up on his YouTube channel, right? And she was like, I feel like this is what's coming home after college. I'm home. And they chat and whatever, and then she drives away after like 10 minutes, which is very funny. But once again, just supporting just a creep, a loser. Okay? Red flag. Don't support Shane Dawson, okay? In my opinion, whatever. June 2020, June 23rd, 2023, James Charles collab. So she originally collabed with him in 2020, and I think it was before like the big. If you don't know why James Charles is canceled, yes, you do. If you're watching a video about JoJo Siwa, yes, you do. Don't lie to me. He is admitted to being a predator and preying on children. Go watch Peter Mon. He talks about it every video. Love you, Peter Mon. Right? Gross. Okay. And so after that, they collabed again on oh yeah, before I continue. On the original collaboration, they both did it on each other's channels. So she's promoting someone who's a child predator. To be fair, it was not widely believed at the time. But then, yeah, June 23rd, 2023, she was on his channel again. Once again, to her child audience, promoting a creepo loser predator. And then I looked again to see if he was on her channel as well. This is a tangent. Okay. But apparently she no longer has a channel. It's just XOMG Pop. It's just like a group of girls and they took over her channel. Separate video. But just, I was like, what? I'm not lying to you. Okay. We're kind of getting close to the end of the video here. She's just openly, publicly supporting predators and people that are just bad. That are just like, hey, don't support those guys in the industry. September 12th, 2023. Defends Colleen Ballinger. Tomato, tomato, tomato. That was a little Adam McIntyre references. Happy 21st birthday. At least for me, I can only speak from my experience. Boo her, right? Colleen Ballinger is a predator, a creeper, just and famous ukulele singer. And she just kind of came on here on the Howie Mandel's podcast. Funny enough, yeah, he's a podcast now. He's pretty chill. He just calls all the victims liars and was like, ummed her way to failure. Okay, boo, right? Once again, same thing with the Abby Lee Miller situation. Not only are you defending someone who has infamously hurt children, say that the victim is lying. Not only do you support predators, but you hurt victims even more. Last thing. How are we doing, guys? September 22nd, 2023. The canceled podcast. I've been calling her Tana Mongoose since like 2016. I'm just gonna say that. You know what I'm talking about. Not only is she on another podcast of someone who's just been like kind of problematic is the term, right? Putting that aside, I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't sit here and watch the whole podcast, but I've seen people talk about it and talk about clips or whatever. She was just being rude from our opinion, right? Allegedly. This whole video is alleged, guys. Tana Mongoose has like a co-host, Brooke, and she apparently was just like ignoring her the whole time. And she was just talking about, wow, I was performing on this stage when I was like 13, it was the biggest stage ever. And just being um, super privileged, talking about how she was middle class, come from like kind of like trying to be like, I've come from humble beginnings when her no, you were in dance. Dance is expensive. Your brother went to a private school. No, 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 no. Trying to change the story, right? Okay. No, 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 no. It just came off as really distasteful to even fans of the show. So it wasn't just like, hey, a bunch of like Tana haters or whatever came in and were like, it was just gross. And apparently it make that podcast episode is unwatchable, so hence why I don't want to watch it, right? Neither do you. I watched Adam Actor's video about it. And apparently she also like alludes to it, not being upset about how she was abused in her childhood because she made rich and famous off of it, which is something we touched on earlier. Remember that? Funny enough, years. It always comes back to capitalism. Once again, there's more, but I didn't want to mention every single one. I just did the ones that I felt like were the most important, that make the most amount of points. Let's have a quick little chat, right? There's a pattern. And I noticed that specifically after researching it, I've found controversy that I didn't even heard of. Constantly defending child predators. And to be fair, it's probably to the fact that she's a victim of just being abused for her whole childhood. But that doesn't make it okay that she's defending a predator. It's an excuse. I hope she goes to therapy and figures her shit out. She also has a history of aligning herself with racist and doing racist actions like the back race controversy. And as a lesbian, something that particularly hurt me is a lesbian controversy. It hurt me. That really hurt when I heard that for the first time. Even with the Trump thing, too, she didn't mention it at all, which probably just like a PR thing, right? If she wanted to, she would. If she wanted to speak out against these people's bad actions, she would, but she's not. She's making the conscious choice to either ignore the red flags people around her or support the people around her who are just horrible. How many red flags does it take to think that, maybe they're not a good person? And I looked up to her for a long time. I did, especially when she came out. I think I mentioned that. It's just sad to see that. Guys, once again, a really rich and powerful white person's a bad person. Shocker. uh, but yeah, I'm sorry to burden you with this information. It sucks. It's a shitty feeling. But I really wanted to make this video because it's important to notice that this is not just like random, there's a pattern of shitty behavior from her. And that's not okay. Um, and from what I saw, I haven't seen an apology since the makeup scenario. And I hope she apologizes to the people she hurts and does something about it. This is how my bracelet turned out. Maybe next time I'll actually make one. Thank you for listening. I appreciate your time. Consider stop supporting JoJo Siwa. Don't be an asshole. And take a time to and support victims. Support survivors. Thanks for listening, besties. Have a good one. And Stan takes tea. From what I know, unproblematic kinks. Have a good one, guys. Thank you.